All right, final topic for episode 10 of Furry Church Podcast.
What is that?
It is the fandom doesn't owe you friendship. Now, what does that mean exactly?
It means that if you do something stupid and people call you out on it, you shouldn't play the victim and expect the fandom to still welcome you with open arms.
Okay, so let's put this as a for instance. Recently in Arizona, the knuckleheads of Arizona, they did a weird little IHOP meet. A bunch of them got together, right in the middle of the fun thing that's happening right now.
As seen on Twitter.
And, of course, a fandom that is very big. It has a lot of different opinions, a lot of different thoughts. They have several of them that condemned them for this and said they shouldn't have done this.
Including both of us, because we believe
we
that
definitely are on the side that condemning it.
Why put yourself in danger like that during a pandemic?
But when people call them out, they tell them what is wrong with it, what they feel they did wrong.
And basically call them idiots.
And call them idiots or, whatever.
Every name in the book.
The person eventually comes out and puts out a tweet that says, this isn't how the fandom should be.
As woe is me, I'm victimized.
You're being mean. I thought this was a friendly fandom, an all-inclusive, I can do no wrong and you're supposed to just forgive me type of thing.
Nope.
And I guess the title of this topic is sort of that, but it's also saying that people in general just don't owe you something for being.
No. You make the fandom what you will of it.
Another example was Kiro, when he was put out on this, on what he did. He also said, this isn't the fandom he thought it was, that we were all just being mean and victimizing him and all that stuff, but your actions do have a consequence, no matter what.
The law doesn't protect you in furry. It doesn't keep you in furry. The law still covers you, no matter what you do.
But we're talking about a fandom that is a lot bigger than it used to be. There's a lot of different opinions, there's a lot of different thoughts on a lot of different things. You can't assume that, I did something wrong, everyone's supposed to forgive me on this. You can't assume that. Nobody owes you that. Just because you're in furry doesn't mean that those people need to be your friend. They don't need to be around you. They don't need to have your same ideals. They don't need to think the same way as you.
There's all kinds of different people.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't have time for everyone.
There's other examples recently, for sure. Certain white wolf that I don't really want to say.
Yeah.
But they also assume that everybody is toxic because they call them out and don't like what they're thinking.
You're responsible for what you say and do.
But on the same side, you're going to find people that do like what you're thinking. You just can't accept everyone else is going to feel that way too.
Yeah.
Not everybody owes you just because you're in the fandom. They're not all friends. You're not going to always have the same personality types. You're not going to always have the same thoughts.
But as long as you're not being hateful of different kinds of people just minding their own business.
Yeah, I do agree that if you're cool and you're in furry and you're just having fun, you're not messing with anyone, you can have strong opinions on things, but you may want to actually explain them or
just keep it
not
to
be
yourself.
tone deaf or whatever keep to yourself.
Be mindful of other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Treat people as people.
But you're always going to run into different thoughts. It's too big not to have different people thinking different things.
Yeah.
You're not going to always agree with everyone. You're not going to always have the same personality type to hang out with somebody and enjoy their company.
And that's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
In real life, you don't go to work or school, depending on your age and life situation. And you don't expect to be friends with all of your coworkers. You don't be friends with all of your classmates. There's going to be people you don't really care for or click with. And that's fine. And the same can go for fandom.
It can be the same with any fandom. It could be you don't owe anybody being friends just because they like video games.
Anime, comics.
Movies. They're all going to have different opinions on things too. And if you see that somebody is toxic in your own opinion, then, don't be friends with them.
Yeah, you have the option to just not respond to them, block them if it gets bad enough, and just go about your business.
But you can't just say that an entire fandom is toxic either, because you got called out. There's people that don't like your opinion, don't like what you do as a person.
Toxic would be if you're doing something illegal, if you're being manipulative, if you're in some way or other hurting other people. That's toxic.
But like on the 2 examples I gave, they said that it was like a toxic fandom because they screwed up, and people were saying that
No.
they did screw up.
In which case, this takes accountability.
Mm-hmm.
You did something wrong. Just own up to it. Don't say it's your fault. Say, oh, it's my fault. I screwed up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I agree.
And maybe it's that sort of attitude of you're to blame, not me, is what's causing the fandom to be toxic,
But
as people say.
With all the different people, all the different thought processes, all the bringing up, you can't just set it as you're welcome no matter what you do.
Nope.
There has to be consequences no matter what.
Technically,
if you do something dumb.
Not everybody's welcome, or else we would have shady individuals.
Oh, we do. And they're still around.
They're being pushed out, though. Some of them are.
Yeah.
So if the fandom really truly was welcoming, we'd still have, like, Kira running around, welcomed by everybody. We'd have other shady figures, Growly. But the fact of the matter is, not everybody's welcome.
Yeah. And they'll probably still try to stay in the fandom. They'll slink around it somehow. They still try to get the cons. They still try to be in the community. And I do believe that, some of them should be allowed, to explain themselves.
Depending on what the allegations are.
And I think that if anything comes out on them, that is actually illegal. I do believe that the police should have the final say in it.
Police should have final say, but there's still a possibility that they could get out someday. And if they get out and they haven't changed for the better, then they should not be welcome.
But all in all, I just don't think that anybody should be guilted into thinking that they owe somebody being their friends in furry just because they're furry.
Or guilted into thinking the same exact thing as everyone else.
Mm-hmm. And to assume that everyone else is toxic if they don't think the same way they do.
Nah.
Yeah, it's a lot to think about. I guess just this Arizona thing recently made me think about it. And it's just coming out and them saying that it's everyone else's fault for it.
They were idiots.
So, it's another thing of think first before you do things. Because it can and will have repercussions.
And then you look through the comments and and some people are like, of course it's Arizona furries. And it's like, that makes us feel any better.
Well, maybe we'll talk about Arizona furries in general, but this is furry altogether. It's a lot of different people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different personalities. You can't get along with everyone. You just can't.
Yeah.
You can be cordial, you can be kind to those that you feel that deserve it.
Uh-huh.
I'd like to think that that's how we act.
There's different thought processes that make us all unique. There's also a unifying guideline of who's acceptable and who's not. Anything like illegal, manipulative, stuff like that should be the common ground for deciding who's toxic and who's not.
But yeah, use your own opinion on it though, no matter what. So if you do something wrong, don't blame everyone else. Don't say that the community is toxic. And try to amend something if you did it bad. Don't force anything else on other ones and anyone else.
Yeah.
That's just the way I see it.
Let people live.
Mm-hmm. Furry's still people.
Yeah.
It's just like we said on the last topic. It's still people on the other side of the screen. It's still people inside of the suits. And they're going to have different ways about life.
Yeah,
That's all there is
exactly.
to
I'm
it.
a person underneath
Mhm.
this fluffy cat.
You'll see a lot of things people do agree with that you may not agree with. Who knows? It's just how life is.
Yeah.
Other words, don't put any generalizations out. It's what people do to furry outside of it too. We're all sexual deviants to people outside, and that's just generalizing. So yeah, I feel that I've said enough about this. What I wanted to say about it.
Last thought is, the outsiders generalize furries. Furries shouldn't be generalizing furries.
Yeah, might be a good idea.
Like, that just causes divide in an already hated fandom, which we don't need.
We all have limited time too, so don't feel you owe anybody anything. In furry or outside of it.
Do what's best for you.
Mm-hmm. But I'm pretty happy with discussing this. Are you?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.